Many men desire to be like Alexander the Great, but not many know that there was a great queen who matched him in intelligence and power. Even though she was born a woman in ancient Egypt, her name still echoes through time and her legacy remains unparalleled to this day. She has been called the most beautiful woman in the world, an icon of feminine allure. But she was much more than just a pretty face. She was a shrewd politician, a brilliant strategist, and a cunning manipulator who knew how to get what she wanted. Her story is one of ambition, power, and tragedy. Welcome to my channel. And today let's find out about the most powerful woman in history, Queen Cleopatra. Do you know who killed Cleopatra? Who was Cleopatra's lover? What was Cleopatra known for? Let's dive into the details. Cleopatra was born on July 69 BC in the city of Alexandria, which was the capital of Egypt at that time. Her father was King Ptolemy XII, who ruled over the Egyptian kingdom with an iron fist. From the time she was young, Cleopatra showed signs of being a very intelligent and ambitious ruler. Unlike many of her contemporaries, she did not rely on her looks or her status to get ahead in life. Instead, she worked hard to hone her skills and make a name for herself. She learned to speak multiple languages, including Egyptian, Greek, and Latin, and she also studied hard to become well-versed in mathematics, science, and literature. When she took the throne, she was only 14 years old, but she didn't let her age define her. She was determined to prove herself to be a capable and effective leader. As soon as she came into power, Cleopatra began to make changes in Egypt. She introduced new laws and policies that were designed to improve the lives of her people. She also worked hard to rebuild the country's economy after years of neglect and war. She was successful in her endeavors, and soon Egypt became one of the most prosperous kingdoms in the ancient world. Her subjects loved her for her intelligence, her compassion, and her sense of justice. They saw her as a beacon of hope in a dark and uncertain world. But not everyone was happy with Cleopatra's rise to power. Her brother and husband, Ptolemy XIII, was jealous of the attention she was getting. He knew that she was more popular than him, and he was afraid that she would eventually take his throne. So he plotted against her and tried to kill her. But Cleopatra was too smart to be caught off guard. She fought back and eventually won the battle, securing her place on the throne. After she had established herself as the sole ruler of Egypt, she turned her attention to the neighboring kingdoms. She knew that Egypt was vulnerable and she wanted to protect it from outside threats. She formed alliances with other rulers and built up a strong military force. She also made sure to keep her people safe by enacting laws to protect them from harm. It was during this time that Cleopatra met Roman general and statesman Marcus Junius Brutus. At first, their relationship was strictly political. Cleopatra needed the Romans' help to protect Egypt from its enemies, and Brutus saw the potential of having an Egyptian queen as an ally. But soon their political alliance turned into something more. They fell in love, and Cleopatra gave birth to his son, Caesarion. Their romance was passionate and intense, but it was doomed from the start. The two were from different worlds, and their relationship was seen as a threat by many. The Romans were suspicious of Cleopatra's motives, and the Egyptians were angry that their queen had chosen a foreigner over them. The relationship caused a lot of tension and eventually led to civil war. In the end, Cleopatra lost the battle and had to flee to Rome with her son. While in Rome, Cleopatra was able to use her intelligence and charm to make powerful friends. She ingratiated herself to the Roman elite and gained their support. She also continued to build her reputation as a shrewd politician and a wise leader. But her time in Rome was not without its challenges. She had to be careful not to offend anyone, and she was always aware that she was living in enemy territory. Still, she managed to make a good life for herself and her son, and they lived there for several years. During their stay in Rome, Caesar and Cleopatra had a son named Caesarion who was named after his great-grandfather, Julius Caesar. However, when Caesar was assassinated, Cleopatra and her son were forced to flee back to Egypt. Upon their return, Cleopatra found herself in a precarious position. She was seen as a foreigner in her own country, and she had no allies to turn to. But she was determined to make a comeback and reclaim her throne. She used her intelligence and charm to win over the Egyptian people, and they soon rallied behind her. She was eventually able to take back the throne and rule Egypt once again. However, her victory was short-lived. Soon after, she met her end in a tragic way. Do you know how Cleopatra died? According to history, Cleopatra was known to be an incredibly intelligent and strategic ruler. She understood the power of knowledge and the importance of preserving it for future generations. She established a great library in Alexandria, which was one of the largest and most comprehensive collections of books and scrolls in the ancient world. Her library was a hub of learning and scholarship, attracting scholars and researchers from all over the known world. She also commissioned the construction of the Museum of Alexandria, which was a center for scientific and intellectual research. The museum housed a wide variety of artifacts and specimens, including plants, animals, and fossils. It was also home to a number of scholars and scientists who made significant contributions to their fields. Cleopatra's commitment to knowledge and learning had a lasting impact on the city of Alexandria and the ancient world as a whole. Her library and museum helped to preserve and disseminate important texts and ideas that would have otherwise been lost to time. But despite her many accomplishments, Cleopatra's story ended in tragedy. According to one version of events, she was betrayed by her lover, Roman General Mark Antony, who was defeated by Cleopatra's rival, Octavian, who later became the Emperor Augustus. When Cleopatra realized that her forces were no match for Octavian's, she decided to take her own life rather than be captured. She is said to have done so by allowing an asp, a type of venomous snake, to bite her. As she lay dying, she summoned her son Caesarion and told him to take the throne. But Caesarion was too young and inexperienced to rule, and he was soon deposed by Octavian. When Octavian took control of Egypt, he made it a province of Rome, and Cleopatra's dreams of an independent Egypt were finally put to rest. Her death is shrouded in mystery, and there are many theories about how it happened. Some historians believe that she was actually poisoned, while others believe that she did indeed die by the bite of an asp. Whatever the truth may be, her death is a reminder of the fragility of power and the dangers of playing the game of politics. Cleopatra's story has been romanticized and fictionalized over the centuries. In modern times, she is often portrayed as a tragic figure, a victim of circumstance who was ultimately undone by her own hubris. However, it is important to remember that Cleopatra was a real historical figure who lived in a very different time and place than we do now. She was a product of her environment, and the choices she made were based on the information and resources available to her at the time. While her story may have elements of tragedy, it should also be seen as a testament to the strength and resilience of women in a male-dominated world. Cleopatra was a woman who defied the odds and achieved greatness in a time when women were expected to be subservient to men. She was a shrewd politician, a brilliant strategist, and a cunning manipulator who knew how to get what she wanted. And even though she ultimately met a tragic end, her legacy continues to inspire awe and admiration in people all over the world. What is your opinion about Cleopatra? Is she a role model for you? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video. Until then, stay tuned, take care, and goodbye.